Championships.
The Irish elite boxing team plundered silver and gold at the European Championships in Belarus earlier this year, and precious metal is the goal once again at the World Championships in Kazakhstan. A team of 9 travelled to the city of Almaty, and 5 of them made it through to today's quarter-finals. Paddy Barnes up a weight to fly and bidding to add to his 2 Olympic bronze medals. Michael Conlon seeded number 2 and one of the favourites for a medal. Jason Quigley, already a gold medal winner at the European Championships this year. Joe Ward, only 19 and ready to rumble on the big stage. And heavyweight Tommy McCarthy, the 2013 Irish Elite Champion. Hello and you're very welcome to our coverage of the 2013 AIBA World Boxing Championships. In many ways, it's a golden era for amateur boxing in Ireland, with major championship medals becoming the rule for our elite boxers rather than the exception. But having said that, they still are extremely hard to come by. And 2 men who know exactly what it takes to come away from a major championship with a medal are Mick Dowling and Eric Donovan, both former European bronze medalists, and we'll hear from the lads very shortly. But first, to the action, and Paddy Barnes was hoping to become only the 2nd Irish male boxer ever to win medals at the Europeans, Olympics and World Championships. One of our most decorated amateur boxers ever, with 2 Olympic bronze and a European gold among an already impressive collection of medals. Could he reach the World Championship semi-finals? Commentary comes from Jimmy McGee.
And they're off and they're away, and it's the typical Paddy Barnes guard, hands held high, and he peeping over.
Step back.
Latipov, very experienced, even though he's only 22 years old. He seems to have been through the mill almost as long and as hard as Barnes. But Barnes is a great boxer, and at this level there are few men who can beat him. Indeed, in all of the recent big championships we've had, the most notable man who's been victor has been Zhu Xiongning of China. Beat him in 2 Olympic Games, and now, of course, Xiongning, China's greatest ever boxer, is a professional boxing out of America, US. It's a little untidy, and the referee has to intervene, telling Barnes he's holding and hitting on the blind side, which he was doing, I think, or at least attempting to do. Pretty wide open stance, pretty wide open guard from Latipov, and Barnes is usually the one who can hurt in that situation. You watch Latipov again on the defense, left arm hanging, and a pretty wide open target at which Barnes can aim. One of the best amateur boxers that Europe has had in the last 20 or so years, Paddy Barnes. The guard, you see, is vital for him. Head tucked right in behind the pair of gloves, and he can see over his own personal parapet. A minute to go in the first round, and as always, is Barnes on the attack. He never lets up. And the European Championships already earlier this year, a broken nose put paid to his chances. He ended up with a silver medal, but that was not enough for him. Paddy's not interested, he says, in any kind of medals bar the gold variety, but I think he'd welcome a medal out of the World Championships, because on his own personal podium he has everything bar a world medal. Fantastic record, fantastic collection he's got. Paddy Barnes, we first saw him on the international limelight in Chicago at the World Championships in 2007, and on that occasion he qualified to compete in the Olympic Games. No medal, but a big important qualification. And as you know, he got a bronze medal in Beijing. Only Irish boxer to win 2 Olympic medals, Beijing and London. Last 10 seconds of this first round. And it's been an all-action bout. The referee's hardly had to shake a leg or open his mouth in this so far. Is a clash in styles, and that usually makes good fights. Ladipov with a looser guard, Barnes with this non-stop aggression of his at the end of round 1. The winner of this will meet Selby of Wales, renowned Selby of Wales. There's great talent in this flyweight division. Barnes moving up a weight, as you well know by now, up to the weight that was occupied by Michael Conlon in London at the Olympics. Michael in turn moved up to the weight that was occupied by John Joe Nevin on that occasion. This is fly. This is now 52 kilograms. A wilder looking swinger, Ladipov. Much more swinging, hoping to hook at times than Barnes. Barnes' punching is neater, more compact. But as to get inside there and score, you see the loose defensive guard that Ladipov is putting up. It seems made for Barnes, in my opinion. But he's just got to get in there and do the business. Ladipov feints with the left hand. He's beaten to the right hand punch by Barnes. Barnes hasn't changed at all. Head just tucked in behind the gloves. Very loose and quite wild is Ladipov. But he's getting through a percentage. And there's going to be a warning for Paddy Barnes. The referee telling him ahead has been his problem. He also has a problem with that right eye. And now, the little man from Belfast has it really all to do. As they say in that part of Ireland, is dander is up here. Bringing time out for the moment, bringing Ladipov over to the corner, where he has an apparent apparel damage. That's okay, it was just his nicks were beginning to fall down. See that loose guard of Ladipov's again. You see there's a hook at the end of all that. And he can just unleash one of those hands on Barnes. It could be, Barnes is telling him here, telling the referee that again there's a head, and this warning will equalize the warnings. And the referee is getting a little bit miffed with the whole thing now. Ladipov from Uzbekistan in the last half minute of this second round. And this is a rough, tough contest, this one. They may be the best of mates, I don't know that, but there's certainly no love lost in this ring. In this quarter-final of the flyweights. Ladipov lands with a good left hand, Barnes likewise with his. Referee's watching like a hawk. Either man is capable of indiscretion here. At the end of that one, Ladipov again pushing himself ahead, although Judge A sees it level. 1 round to go, and a lot will depend on the referee in this one, because these two fellas are wound up. Ladipov, the champion of Uzbekistan. Paddy Barnes, the champion of Ireland. And Barnes has his own personal podium. He's twice won Olympic bronze medals. He's been a European medalist, gold and silver, Commonwealth gold medalist, and 6 times the Irish senior champion. He had to give anything to just have a world championship medal, and this is his chance. But is the chance diminishing? Still hopping along with that arrogance, Barnes. If he can just get in and throw in a bit of body punching, he's good at that generally. And Ladipov feels now that he's got the height and reach advantage. The Uzbekistani. And that might be enough for him to swing this. His movement now is making Barnes chase, and the more he chases, the more he's missing. And Ladipov feels that he can do the show bit and show business bit he's doing, staying well away from Barnes and the threat of Barnes, with 1 minute and 40 seconds left for the little man from the Golden Gloves Holy Family Club in Belfast. And Barnes making the referee aware that he's been hit on the back of the neck by Ladipov. I say Barnes won't have a lot of nice things to say about Ladipov at the end of this, but the Uzbekistani is certainly making himself a very difficult target indeed for Barnes. Barnes still wants a piece of him, trying to cut him off in the corner. Ladipov moves away. Difficult for Barnes. Gets on the inside, throws 3 or 4. A certain percentage of them got through. Bit of holding there by Ladipov. Barnes taps those gloves just to tell Ladipov, look, I'm getting a bit fed up with you. There's lead in this leather. Like, you leave me one more opening, boy, and I'll show you what. But it's Ladipov who scores the next shot. That right hand to the face. Just over half a minute to go. It's certainly been all action, but a complete contrast in styles. The taller man, the wider ranging artillery, is proving elusive to Barnes. Turns nicely, Ladipov. Gets back in the centre of the ring again. Barnes desperately looking for an opening for one big shot, one big final shot. And I think Ladipov is going to deny him that opportunity. The champion of Uzbekistan is ambling towards what he thinks is a victory. Paddy Barnes is clearly distraught and certainly frustrated. And he still has a thing or two to say. He has an injury there, and he has an injury to his pride as well. And he's a very proud fellow, this. Not in any bad way. And the result is forthcoming. Ladipov has won it.
Yes, Ladipov proving a very, very tricky customer indeed, and he brings Paddy Barnes' involvement in the 2013 World Championships to an end. Mick, we know that Paddy always wears his heart on his sleeve, and we were looking at pictures after the contest ended, and he certainly cut a very frustrated figure. Why was that, do you think?
Oh, Paddy would be very, very disappointed. You know, he's been around all the big tournaments. He's medalled at most of them, in particular at the Olympics, as we said there, with 2 Olympic bronze medals. But Ladipov, on the other hand, has been around all those same big tournaments. Maybe didn't pick up the medals that Paddy has picked up. But Ladipov proved to be a very, very good technical fighter, and that was the problem. I think if you put Ladipov and Paddy Barnes into your box room, there's only one man that'd walk out, and that would be Paddy Barnes. But unfortunately, it was, you know, a 24 by 24 ring, and that suited Ladipov. He was a lovely mover, good footwork. He was anticipating what Paddy was doing and picking him off, and you could see the frustration on Paddy because of that.
Yeah, but Eric, was there cause for complaint on Paddy's part? Because he certainly constantly referred to the referee that he was being hit with some illegal blows. Do you think he had a case?
It's always going to be, it's never going to be plain sailing when you have 2 guys boxing in a quarter-final of a World Championships, because there's so much at stake. There's a bronze medal at stake.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can go to the World Championships and win 3 or 4 fights, but if you don't win a medal, you're coming home empty-handed. So, of course, they were playing little games and stuff like that, but there was always going to be a contrast in styles as well.
Yeah.
The guy was so tall, and he was very big for 52 kilos. And although Paddy Barnes has moved up to 52 kilos, he can match these guys for strength and power. But these guys just have that added extra bit of height and distance. So he utilises that. Ladipov utilised that very well and used the game plan very well.
Yeah, and as well as having the height and the power, Mick, you were also really impressed with Ladipov's footwork, and you thought that was a significant difference.
Yeah, you see, a lot of time when Paddy needed to be close, and you know, and Eric and myself, we spoke about this earlier on, but we know Paddy Barnes' style so well. I mean, his forte is to get tight, is to get close up, and if he's not close up, he will always have difficulty. Generally, he has managed to be able to track guys down and cut off ring space, but with Ladipov, because of the nice, good footwork, he's backpedaling, but he's still picking off nice, clean shots. shots, using his own long jab, just feeling out little jabs and then putting in 1, 2, 3. Then when they're getting close, he was tying Paddy Barnes up, and that's one of the things that Paddy was not happy about, being tied up on the inside. But the referees are allowing much more infighting now than they used to.
Very early on in the contest, you noticed, Eric, that Paddy took a fairly severe blow on the head. Now, it wasn't from a punch, I hasten to add, and you felt that certainly knocked him off kilter early on.
Absolutely. I thought he got off to a good enough start. Okay, the game plan was you're going to have to push this guy back. You can't stand off him. Look at the height and reach of him. You know, so there was the clash of heads. What happened was, this was 2 minutes into the first round. When Paddy got up after this, I think he was blurred visioned, he was a little bit disorientated, and from then on, I don't think he lost a bit of concentration or something. He lost the method in his work.
Yeah, and in fact, Paddy tweeted shortly after the contest that after he took that blow to the head, that he did experience blurred vision for the rest of the contest. That certainly wouldn't have helped his case, Mick, at all, would it?
It certainly wouldn't, you know, but I wouldn't see that as an excuse for losing. I think Paddy just met somebody who had a little bit more skill on the night. He's a younger fighter, great mover, great to anticipate shots. He was bringing in he'd put in his right hand straight through, then he'd bring around a big looping left hook, and it found Paddy's chin just once or twice too often.
Yeah, and finally, Eric, the move up from light fly to flyweight for Paddy, was that a factor in his defeat today?
I think so, because Latipov would have known Paddy Barnes. Every boxer in the world knows Paddy Barnes.
Yeah.
Boxers who's boxing at that level. And he knows he's one of the most decorated boxers out there. So Latipov would have said to himself, there's no way I'm standing with this guy, Paddy Barnes, because Paddy Barnes will stand with anyone in the game and he'll match them for strength and power. So he said, I have the reach, I have the height, I'm going to utilise that, and he did it. And he done it fairly well, and that's how he got the result.
Yes, he certainly did, and unfortunately, no World Championship medal for Paddy Barnes this time around. OK, it's time now for a short break, but when we return, we'll see another of our Olympic heroes in action. Michael Conlon is next against Vladimir Nikitin of Russia.
And this is my assistant, and you're watching The Republic of Telly with Bernard and friends.
Hey, I'm Jennifer McGuire.
Tonight on The Republic of Telly, I do loads of stuff on my new show, Republic of Telly. Oh my God.
Show.
Are you turned on as me right now, are you?
The Republic of Telly returns Bank Holiday Monday at 9:30 on RTE2.
You know that milk over there in the glass?
Indeed I do.
We get that from cows, right?
Yep.
And those eggs?
Uh-huh.
They're from chickens.
Correct again.
Well, does jelly come from jellyfish?
Honestly, were you dropped when you were small?
Somebody seriously needs some smarts. At Carphone Warehouse, get the new Sony Xperia Z1 free with unlimited calls, texts and 3 gig of data for €49 per month on Meteor. See your local store or carphonewarehouse.ie today.
This week at Super Quinn, the Steak and Wine Sale is back with guaranteed tender premium quality steak, like our famous cowboy steak, 33% off. Juicy ribeye, 33% off. Irish strip loin steak, 33% off. And selected wines like Chateauneuf de Pape, up to half price. Our Steak and Wine Sale, now on.
EBS is helping to get people home every day with expert mortgage advice to ensure you get the right mortgage for you. To start talking about how we can get you home, drop into your local EBS or visit our mortgage centre at ebs.ie. EBS, we'll get you home.
We have to go, go, go! Explorer's been hit!
What do I do?
Astronaut is off structure. Grab a hold of anything you can.
I'm really scared.
You're gonna make it, Ryan.
I can't breathe.
You got me. Anybody?
Gravity, only in cinemas. See it in 3D.
The first time I went to my favourite caramel shop, I was 5. And everywhere I looked there was caramel, and one that glittered like gold. A Werther's original. I felt like someone very special. So now every Werther's reminds me of that moment.
Discover comforting Werther's caramel in a deliciously creamy filling inside a smooth butter candy shell. Have you tried one yet?
You can wait a lifetime for a chance like this. 32 counties. Only one team. The Irish Daily Mail International Rules Series.
Discover Pharmaton Active Life from the Irish #1 choice for multivitamins to help you live every day full of energy. Pharmaton's daily support helps keep your energy levels up. Notice the difference when taking Pharmaton, helping you make the most out of life every day. Pharmaton Active Life, healthy energy that lasts.
$25% off for over 60s, plus free site test.
Are you ready for more? Then get ready for the best value bundle from Aircom ever. Get home phone, super fast broadband including eFibre, and for the first time, free eMobile for 6 months with a free smartphone. All yours for just €45 a month. The best value Aircom bundle with free eMobile and a free smartphone. Call 1-800-503-303 to sign up for your bundle today.
And you're very welcome back to the programme. Well, Michael Conlon moved up a division for these World Championships, and in today's bantamweight quarter-final, he faced Vladimir Nikitin, the Russian boxer beaten by John Joe Nevin on his way to European gold earlier this year. Conlon, of course, still only 22 years of age, but with an impressive amateur CV already. That Olympic bronze in London last summer still his greatest honour to date. We joined the contest early in the first round.
These are two of the best bantamweights in the world, as can it befits their position here in the quarterfinals of the World Championships. Coming up to halfway through the first round, and it's an all action. These are two very good fighters who would be inclined for boxing over fighting, and you wouldn't think it would be this heavy duty stuff, but it is kind of non-stop since it began. Conlon faded with the left hand, then came across to his right. That was taken pretty well in the glove there by Nikitin, who appropriately enough is dressed in the, coming out of the red corner, the red of Russia, or what used to be the red of Russia. Conlon tries a right to the body there, was just out of distance. The right hand to the head didn't work either. Lovely left hand by Conlon, that was a winner. Conlon can punch with either hand from either side, and his footwork is always excellent. See how steady he is on his feet, the Belfast boy. I can hardly call him a boy any longer, but it's boxing jargon. He'll be 22 next month, Michael Conlon. And this is a really good scrap. That's one of the few times we've had the referee to say anything to them. You just keep your head up to Nikitin. Nothing terribly dangerous, but as well to tell him well in advance. Solid left hook to the body there from the Russian. Conlon is boxing beautifully, getting his punches away, timely, right on target all the time. Good defensive action and evasive action by Conlon. How quick his hands are when he get in close. It's Nikitin who leads with all three. Just at 1 point in it. It's a 10-point must. Round two in Almaty in Kazakhstan. A lot of arm action from Conlon. No punches landed though. Conlon has the busier hands and busier arms. He's trying to pile in here to get an opening for his right hand, which is big and is accurate. Does a lot of work in the gym with his brother, who's his coach, and then when he's not being coached at the St John Bosco Club in Belfast, he's up on the high performance in Dublin at the National Stadium. So the coaching all the way along the line from Michael Conlon is really top notch. For years, the Russians have been the dominant country, first as the USSR, and more recently as Russia, the dominant country in amateur boxing in Europe. But bit by bit, and most assuredly, Ireland is catching up. Ireland only a team of 9 going to these World Championships, and already they've got 5 of them in the quarterfinals, and that's a marvellous return. Conlon just beaten Nikitin to the punch. Stop, referee says. Nikitin was just a split second late in stopping. Referee just admonishes him slightly about it, but no hint of warnings or cautions. Conlon gets both hands going. Has to take a right hand himself. A couple of good shots there from Nikitin. Conlon trying to keep him at the end of that jabbing left hand. Nikitin wants to get in a bit closer and try some body stuff. Good job, that right uppercut missed. Inside the last minute of round 2. 3 3-minute rounds, of course. Nice evasive defensive action there by Conlon. Heads dangerously close, but there's no hint of malice in either of them. If they are a bit close, hairlines rubbing against each other. Good second round by Conlon. There was a good right to the body inside the last half minute of round 2. Stop, says the referee. One of the only 3 words he uses in a bout. But these two guys have boxed very clean, very sporting. And inside the last 10 seconds now, Conlon up on his feet, making himself elusive and evasive. And the steadier, more compact Russian probably had to give second best there in the last half minute of that one. So there you can see that for Conlon, it's an uphill battle now. There's some of his mates. That's Ray Moylett on the right, holding the water bottle. And they're as anxious as everybody else for Michael Conlon now. He knows what he has to do. He needs a big last round here. Nikitin is a very solid citizen. Solid on his feet. Hard to shift, hard to move. Doesn't appear to be scoring half as much as Conlon. He's certainly throwing a good deal. 2 very, very fit men indeed. There have been a lot of fit people in Irish sport in recent years, in all sports, right across the swipe, but none of them are busier or healthier than the boxers. You have to be the fittest individuals on the earth around the stadium. And Conlon's giving an exhibition of that. Michael Conlon in blue, Vladimir Nikitin of Russia in red. Told to watch his head, Conlon likewise. Those heads have been rather close right since the start. But they're not threatening, they're not saying, I'll have you, sort of thing. But that's the way they're boxing. Conlon, as you can say, leaning forward there. Half a round to go for a place in the semi-final of the World Championships. And with that, a certain bronze medal. This is a contest for a bronze medal at the World Championships. Nikitin very, very strong with his body shots. but Conlon doesn't take many backward steps, and his own hands are fast and flash inside the last minute now. Conlon knows the value of the last 30 seconds. He knows equally the value of the last 60 seconds. And he will have been told that time and oft in his various coaching sessions. And he's really given it a real lash now at the end of this second round with half a minute to go. Nikitin doing his bit. This has been a terrific semi-final at bantamweight. Two really good boxers, good fighters too. The hearts are big. Again, Nikitin's been told to keep his head up. He could get a warning here, you know, and although there's nothing terribly bad in what he's doing, I think the referee's within his rights just to caution him. Now he's doing the same thing to Conlon, and one of them is dicing with a caution, with a warning. But we're in the last few seconds now, and that's it. It's all over. Conlon thinks he's won. Nikitin thinks he's won, and very shortly we'll know who indeed has won. Terrific third round from Michael Conlon, but not good enough on the overall. Michael Conlon, as he did in Baku at the last World Championships, is gone in the quarterfinal.
In terms of the first round, you were moving so well, and then the second round still toe-to-toe and got through a few times.
Well, boxing, that happens. I'll be back, so not really worried. Thought I wanted done enough, but it would have been good to get the medal. I was so confident coming in, and just a bit disappointed, you know.
I know you said before the fight, after watching John Joe, that you had to move around with this guy. That was how to beat him, and he just kind of dragged you in.
No, I wasn't trying to box like John Joe. I'm not John Joe Evans, so don't know what you're talking about there. But I'm happy enough with my performance, but it wasn't enough on the day. So
their first step up to this weight class, Michael, as well.
Aye, it's first step up. So.
Yes, well, Michael Conlon, as you heard there, thought that he had done enough to win the fight. I'm afraid the judges thought otherwise. But having viewed it again there, Eric, he was a little bit unlucky. I mean, it was a very, very close contest, wasn't it?
Absolutely, Peter. John Nevin gave him the blueprint earlier on in the year how to beat this Russian, and that was by boxing, stick, you know, punch and move. And I thought Michael carried that game plan in the first round, and he carried it to perfection. Okay, the Russian was having a little bit of success, but he wasn't landing on the money. Michael was landing his shots, he was doing nice counter punching, so he goes back to the corner and realises he's lost the round. So all that good work was to no avail. So I can understand him changing the tactics and actually standing toe-to-toe with this guy. But then again, the Russian specialises at this kind of a tactic. So he actually played into the Russian's hands then. But I can understand, I would have argued that Michael Conlon won the first round.
Yeah, it's almost about that you have to score round by round, and Eric, as you said, you gave Michael that first round, and Mick, you felt that Michael did some of his best work then in the second round.
I thought he started very, very well, but he again got dragged into close quarters stuff, you know, and Michael probably felt, as Eric has referred to here, that perhaps he felt, look, I've tried to box the first round, I've stayed away from him, I've picked off nice punches, and here at the end of it, I lose the round. Maybe if I stand toe-to-toe with him and start fighting, and he's quite capable of doing that. But I have to say that the strong man on the inside was the Russian, without any doubt. If Michael had been able to stay away, would you go in with one plan, your opponent has another. Michael's plan may have been, and I'm sure Billy Walsh would have been saying, stay away, box, long range, use your footwork, use your skill, because he's a very, very skillful young fighter. But the Russians had their plan too. Don't give this Irish kid room. Cut him off, chase him down, cut down the ring, don't run after him, just cut him off, get close to him, and every time we got close, the Russian landed with some really good uppercuts. Michael landed with his own good shots on the inside as well. But I think overall, the better inside work was done by the Russian, and I think at the end of the day, that was the difference between the two of them. But Michael need not feel that disappointed. I thought it was a fantastic performance from him. It wasn't a winning one, but he was up against a really, really classy opponent too.
Yeah, and even in the third round, Eric, and this is me showing my complete bias towards Michael Conlon in the ring, of course, but I thought even when they were trading blows, going toe-to-toe, I thought Michael was coming out the better in those exchanges.
It was an incredible fight. It really was. The way the fight just blossomed into a toe-to-toe scrap. You see it from halfway through the second round and third round. It was like, okay, you have your combination, then I'll have mine, and that's the way they went. 3, 4, 5 punch combinations, body and head.
Yeah.
But I actually thought when you have a taller boxer, which Michael was the taller boxer, the Russian was the smaller one, when you're in a close-knit toe-to-toe, the smaller boxer is always going to get the benefit because he's just smaller, he's the low centre of gravity. Michael is the taller boxer, he's finding it more awkward to go in. I would have preferred he stuck to his boxing.
Yeah, just briefly, Mick, I mean, Michael is a classy amateur boxer. There is talk that he possibly is thinking of turning pro. What do you think about that?
Well, apparently he has tweeted, bring on the offers, and that's a reference to professional boxing. Only last Saturday night I watched his brother Jamie, who's a very accomplished young pro up in Belfast on the Carl Frampton bill. And I would prefer that he stay amateur. I think he would be a prime chance for us for another medal at the next Olympic Games again, and I would sincerely hope that he would turn down any offers that might come his way.
Yeah, well, I'm sure no decisions have been made yet, but unfortunately for Michael Conlon, he bows out of the 2013 World Championships. Now we have another short break to take, but afterwards we'll see the boxer who thrilled us in winning European gold earlier this year. Jason Quigley's middleweight quarter-final is next.
Rusty, tomato head, carrot top.
Growing up a redhead can be difficult.
I just thought I wasn't attractive.
I felt like it was a disease.
But what part does society play?
Redheads can really be the butt of the joke and nobody feels like they have to check themselves.
And what part science?
There isn't absolutely no evidence, for example, that redheads are any less or more temperamental.
You're a wonderful example of evolution.
Oi Ginger, part of Reality Bites, Thursday, 9:55 on RTE2.
Absolutely, yes. Goodbye. Hello, Carol's round the back. Thank you. Goodbye. Hello, Carol's 4 o'clock.
At Carol's, we save our time for the important things, like locally sourcing, handcrafting, and slow cooking our hands to perfection. Because some things just can't be rushed. So even at our busiest, it's always a slow day at Carol's.
3 little words.
Where are you?
At 3, every word of every call, text and tweet on our network matters. Because sometimes all you need are just 3 little words.
Is this free?
It's the network as it should be. 3.
Don't tell me our youth is running now. It's only just begun.
This week at Debenhams, 25% off a great range of coats and boots. In-store and online. Now on.
Bad breath is a very common problem. CB12 is an effective treatment for this problem. CB12, only available in pharmacies.
You know that milk over there in the glass?
Indeed I do.
We get that from cows, right?
Yep.
And those eggs?
Uh-huh.
They're from chickens?
Correct again.
Well, does jelly come from jellyfish?
Honestly, were you dropped when you were small?
Somebody seriously needs some smarts. At Carphone Warehouse, get the new Sony Xperia Z1 free with unlimited calls, texts and 3 gig of data for €49 per month on Meteor. See your local store or carphonewarehouse.ie today.
Get ready for a great bank holiday weekend with these irresistible offers at Tesco. Grove Farm frozen turkeys, now half price. Selected fruit and veg, including Halloween culinary pumpkins, only 69¢. And in the wine and champagne warehouse clearance, over 100 wines up to half price. Tesco. Every little helps.
What's going to happen?
I gave you my word. I would return for you.
The very fabric of reality will be torn apart.
If we do nothing, they will destroy us. I'll find a way to save us all.
Thor, the Dark World.
To face an enemy, known only to a few. Known only to one.
When do we start?
Book your tickets now.
And you're very welcome back. Well, along with John Joe Nevin, Jason Quigley reaped the top reward at the European Championships in Belarus in June. But as we've already seen, the Worlds are another step up in class. Quigley, one of the younger members of this Irish squad, but he more than proved his mettle in Minsk, taking that European gold. A former European youth champion also. Today he faced Hungarian Zoltán Haxa. Here's Jimmy McGee.
And away they go, round one. This is a bout for a medal. The winner here will definitely get a medal, a bronze, and is still in the market to exchange it for something better. But one day at a time, as Gloria used to sing, and the day at a time this time is a quarter-final with the object of getting to the last four. Quigley in red. Quigley can switch hit when the occasion demands, but not too often. This is his preferred style. The orthodox left lead with the right hand poised and cocked, ready to go at any time. Double left jab there from Quigley. Arshev, renowned Hungarian, they produce a lot of good men, and round this weight division produced one of the greatest ever. Laszlo Papp, 3 times Olympic champion. Alas, no longer with us on this earth, but one of the very best, and would be well known in Irish boxing circles. Many's the time he was a manager, coach at the National Stadium on the South Circular Road, long before Jason Quigley was ever heard tell of. But they're certainly hearing about him now, the man from Ballyburfay, Stranora, Finn Valley. Lovely style about him, nice, quiet, economical style. Quigley. Club coach Conor Quigley, the dad. Nice style about him. It's an economical style, but it's a strong style. You can see with Quigley, he's always poised, he's always ready. His defense is good, and his defense is nicely formed. There's a nice structure about him. He did have a bit of a cut on the forehead in a previous contest, but the doctor passed him then and passes him now. And he is, I think, dictating this first round, not with the quantity or quality of blows, but his ring position as making it difficult for Harsha of Hungary to do anything really emotive or skillful. And Quigley pushes him away with the left hand and goes in with a good right hand. Double jab again from Quigley. Misses with that right cross. But he's always superbly poised to do something, Quigley. Last quarter of the minute of the first round, and a nice defensive dodge and weave there by the upper part of Quigley's body as he goes in for a couple of hard shots to the Hungarian's body, and certainly 2 of them got through, and we're very near the end of the first, and we are now at the end of the first. And I think as he goes back to his corner with Antia and Walsh, they'll be very pleased with Jason. Very. Again, he has that center of the ring position, which, like your clock or your watch, if you can stay in the place where deciding the cogs, down goes Harsha, and the referee is counting. He was caught, the left hand first, then the right. Referee is Pt1 from Italy. No trouble for the Hungarian, he's fine, he's all right, he's upright and right. But Quigley is the dictator, and boxing really well. In fact, I can't say since he was underage as a boxer and we used to see him come to the stadium in Dublin, I haven't ever seen him really box badly. He's had to wait in a long queue in a very competitive and stylish middleweight division that was manned first of all and dominated by Kenneth Egan, and then along came the late Darren Sutherland and then Darren O'Neill. They were all there. What a triumvirate. And then waiting at the end of the queue was this young patient man from County Donegal, and now he's got his chance. Won the Irish title this year and won everything else in sight. The way he's going now, he's going to get a World Championship medal too, because he is the better boxer so far in this quarter-final. Harsha in the what looks like all black. It's supposed to be blue. If it's blue, it's a very, very dark blue. And whilst the old eyes need a colour-blind test, but there's no doubt, no colour blindness about Quigley. He's in that staring red. Throws a right hand, takes a right hand, throws another right hand, that got through, and was wild then with another right hand. And a shoelace is open, the left shoe of the Hungarian champion. Nice pair of brogues they are too. Well, he could do with this little rest because he's been second best almost all the way in this quarter-final at middleweight against this Irish champion, who is a really, really good Irish champion. And if he looks after himself and is well looked after, as the high performance will, then he might be in for a long reign as the king of the Irish middleweights. Kenneth Egan was in for a long reign. Then Darren O'Neill and Sutherland had their go at it too. But this man has all the good points, he's got all the punches, and he's got a bit of style. Jason Quigley in the last quarter of a minute of the second round. He won the first, and I should imagine he'll win this even easier. And it's 2018 three times for Jason Quigley. He's home, not dry yet, but home. One round to go, and Ireland in general, Quigley in particular, on the cusp of a World Championship medal. He won a European gold in 2009. 2 years later, or less than 2 years later, he went to Finland for the prestigious G Multi-Nations, gold there. Then the under-23 European Championships, they were held in Russia, gold again for Quigley. Then last year he went to the Czech Republic, won the Ust-Labem Grand Prix, gold again. To the European Championships in Belarus, gold again, and won the Irish title for the first time, gold again. This man is hot at the moment and has been for the last 3-4 years. Jason Quigley ahead in this one. Got to keep his mind about his work now, and he'll be through to the semi-final there, where he'll meet the very good Shapovalov of Russia. Hungarian here is really playing catch-up and not doing it very well. Well, he may be doing it well by his own Hungarian standards, but it's not good enough to disturb the poise and the power of Quigley, who now is poised to throw a right hand, then decides against it. He has the points in the bag now. He has the wherewithal of the judges. He'd like to have a 3-0 clean sheet. Hersha coming at him now, but Quigley fends him off halfway through the third and final round. Jab going out from the Hungarian, not getting through, not troubling Quigley at all. And the Donegal man is in charge of that, there's no doubt. He's strong of will and he's strong of body. And he's a man who really enjoys his boxing. He might respect everyone, Quigley, but he's afraid of no one. He's been dragged onto the punches there by Hersha. Down goes Quigley, down on his hookers. It wasn't a punch that put him there. It was a slip and a loss of balance. He's up again and boxing. Less than half a minute to go. And I think you can write this one down as an Irish bronze medal at the World Championships. This great continued success story of the Irish high performance squad is continuing, in my opinion. Quigley evades a thundering right hand from the Hungarian, but he's not ducking and diving. He's in there ready to take what's going. Final hooter goes, and Jason Quigley punches the thin air of the sky around the ring, and he knows, as we do, that he is now in the semi-final of the World Championships. And he's a big whopper of a kiss for Billy Walsh.
You started really aggressively, you dropped him in the second, I mean, you did everything right today.
Yeah, that's it, you know. It's just, I'm lucky. You know, there's something built inside me that where I can, when it comes to the big occasions, I'm able to pick my game up and give it everything I got. And I'm absolutely delighted and over the moon with it.
You say, look, that's 30 fights unbeaten, Jason.
31.
31, my mistake. Well, there you go. 31 unbeaten, that's not luck.
You know, definitely not, but as I says, I'm very dedicated to what I do. I give my whole life to boxing, and it's just a dream come true to come here and get a world medal. Going to the Europeans and taking back gold was best achievement of my life to date, and coming here picking up a bronze medal is just absolutely over the moon.
Yes, indeed, 31, but who's counting? Well, he certainly is taking it in his stride. Another great victory for Jason, and he's through to a World Championship semi-final. Mick, he certainly does take it in his stride. He's a very confident boxer, and performing like that, he has every right to be.
Yeah, I would agree with himself there. He is the kind of fighter that, you know, he rises to the occasion, and he's good for the big time. You know, it doesn't matter who he's up against. And what he done, when Eric and myself were talking during the contest there, he does the simple things, and he does them very, very well. There's nothing madly spectacular about him, you know. There's nothing real fancy or classy about him. But what he does it very, very good. And he did say himself, you know, that he picks out 2 or 3 things, or perhaps even 4, that he will try to perfect, and he takes those into the ring.
Yeah.
And you can see that there, that what he does is, it's just basic, and he's just picking off his man. And I suppose you might have to question the real commitment of the Hungarian. He didn't seem to have an awful lot to offer. And perhaps,
maybe he wasn't allowed to offer anything.
Yeah, exactly. Perhaps he was stung in the very, very first round with that big swinging right hand of Jason Quigley, and that would put anybody off. But you know, he's on a running streak with what, 31, as he said now. And when you get in a running streak like that, it's great for your confidence. And he carried that European gold medal confidence into the ring. And I think the Hungarian was very, very well aware that this kid is no ordinary kid.
Yeah, it's always a good sign, Eric, isn't it, when a boxer is dictating the pace, which he did right from the off. He took control very early in the contest, didn't he?
Absolutely, and just to pick up on, he was talking in his interview about lucky. You make your own luck in this game, and he's one that makes his own luck.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think he reminds me of Katie Taylor in terms of the way he organises himself, the effort he puts into training. He's last out the gym all the time. I've watched him growing over the last number of years. He's just a phenomenal athlete, and you know, he done what he had to do here, regardless of what the Hungarian had to offer. He done exactly what he had to do. He had to get into them ropes, plant your feet in the centre of the ring, and take control of the fight. Regardless of what the Hungarian had to offer, he had a job to do, and he done it superbly.
Yeah, you know what I find extraordinary, Eric, that you say he trains so hard, because we know from experience all the boxers who represent Ireland train extraordinarily hard. I mean, what extra mile does Jason go as far as you're concerned?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't want to disregard any of the rest of the lads' efforts, because I know how hard they all train. But I would always see Jason Quigley being last out the gym. I would always see him down there doing the extra little bit. I would always see him eating. Maybe sometimes he's going in for lunch, and the rest of the guys are just going out when he's walking in for lunch. They're the things I picked up on, you know, and I noticed, you know, it's a credit and it's a testament to him. And he talks about being lucky. You make your own luck in this game, and he certainly made his.
Yeah, he's looking good, Mick, but he's got a tricky opponent in the semi-final in Pt1.
He does, and Eric and myself, we were talking about, you know, perhaps one of his little faults is that he falls in a little bit after his right hand. Now, he fights in his semi-final Shabaratov of Russia. Now, the Russian has been at the Olympic Games, and again, he's been around all of the big tournaments, and he's a great operator. I watched him in action today, very impressive. And Jason, as I said, Jason himself is a man for the big time, but he's going to have to bring his A game to the ring for that semi-final, because Shabaratov is the kind of fighter would pick him off as he falls in. So he's got to be careful of that, not to fall in after his right hand. He's got to take those feet in with him to get into range, because he's a good banger with the right hand. If he lands on Shabaratov, well, that could change things too.
Yeah, well, we saw Jason rise to the challenge at the Europeans. Hopefully he can do likewise at these World Championships, but a bronze is guaranteed. Great news. And needless to say, we will bring you Jason's semi-final contest here on RTE on Friday. Now, after the break, we'll see if another Irish boxer could progress to the world's top 4. After the disappointment of the Europeans, Joe Ward boxes for a world light heavyweight medal after the break.
There's been a death in the family. She's left us all a little something.
The man in the photograph that you showed me is none other than Prince George.
Shut the front door.
It is not your great-grandfather.
Funny man Chris O'Dowd is embracing the past.
Oh, flip.
Here he is. He was the back end of a pantomime horse.
As a tribute to Harry, we are going to run the costume horse derby.
I told you that giraffe would win.
A new series, Family Tree, starts Monday at 10:30 on RTE2.
I normally don't hear about that show everyone's watching until 2 series in, by which time half the characters have been bumped off. That's what's so handy about Sky's On Demand. They've got loads of box sets of the latest shows just sitting there waiting for me. I do love a gangster. Every episode from the very first one. So I won't miss anyone getting bumped off. Just don't tell me what happens. I can't hear you. Box sets of the latest and greatest shows. Ready when you are. Now that's on demand.
Okay, which one of you losers nicked my deodorant?
Who'd want to smell like you?
Who would smell like you?
Nice, mature.
Zip it, shrimpy.
Dan, eat a Snickers.
Why?
Because you turn into a right diva when you're hungry. Better? Better.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers. Get some nuts.
Dedication, loyalty,
You guys are doing better at this, yeah. Next week, buddy.
friendship. The choices we make reveal the true nature of our character.
Hello, Carol's. Absolutely, yes. Goodbye. Hello, Carol's. Round the back. Thank you. Goodbye. Hello, Carol's. 4 o'clock.
At Carol's, we save our time for the important things, like locally sourcing, handcrafting, and slow cooking our hands to perfection. Because some things just can't be rushed. So even at our busiest, it's always a slow day at Carol's.
And welcome back. Earlier this year, Joe Ward's European challenge was ended prematurely when he picked up a knee injury. But he was looking good at the Worlds ahead of today's quarter-final bout against Nikita Ivanov, the Russian fighter he defeated to win gold at the 2011 European Championships. Joe Ward has struck gold at world junior and youth level. How he'd dearly like to do so in the senior ranks. Let's rejoin Jimmy McGee.
Young Joe Ward, well, what a career he's had. Took over the light heavyweight crown from the brilliant Kenneth Egan. And now the chance to go into the semi-final of the Worlds. Southpaw, representing the Moat Boxing Club. The strength of a well-grown man and a baby face. What a combination. Those wins over Kenneth Egan in the Irish Championships were classic, to say the least, because Egan was one of the best amateurs Ireland has ever had. This man carries power, carries a fair deal of polish as well. And he's had hard luck with injuries and whatnot in recent times. Go back in the records quickly for Joe Ward. 2009, that's 4 years ago. He went to Yerevan in Armenia, won gold medal at the World Junior Championships. They knew about him then. He won with power and poise and damaging punches. 1 year later, he was in Baku in Azerbaijan, where he won the World Youth Championships. 2011, he went to Ankara in Turkey. Senior he was now, and he won the gold medal at that division. Then in 2012 he went to Halle in Germany. He won one of the most prestigious amateur trophies, the Chemistry Cup, gold medal again. And meantime, while all of this was happening, 2011, 12 and 13, he was Irish light heavyweight champion. Don't get much better than that. But he's a good opponent here. This fellow is strong, powerful, and a really good fighter, as indeed nearly all, in fact, if not all of the Russians are. Stopped Warden trying to hold there on the inside. Took a heavy right to the body. He's a heavy puncher himself, Joe Ward, and both these men are heavy hitters. Wouldn't surprise many at ringside here were this to have a short duration. We'll just see what's happening here now. Look at Joe, he's a powerful man. And the Irish team in there supporting them to a man. And it's all over by the looks of it. It's all over by the looks of it. The Russian coaching staff being brought up to the apron of the ring. Oh, there was a thundering right hand. And what a left hand. That would all have but disfigured the man. Power punching from Joe Ward. He's in the semi-final. Joe is there. That's a fabulous win for him. There's not many people who stop Russians like this. And look at the face of Ward. Like it's like an afternoon stroll in the high performance squad. Could they change their mind and not give it to him? Not a chance. Joe Ward is the winner. And he doesn't half like it. Seems to know the Russians, they seem to know him. And you ask one question now, who is going to beat the man from Moat?
Bronze medals at the World Championships, how does that feel?
It's a dream come true. So I dreamed about this many times of being world medalist. At 19 years old, have a European gold medal, or at least a world bronze medal. Can't get any better.
At least a bronze medal. Just tell us what happened there. Why did it stop him?
We were just fighting anyhow, and I caught him in left hand, but he fell forward. I'm not sure it was the punch he caught him, or when he fell forward he hit heads. But thank God, look, this time God is on my side. And the Europeans, that guy went on to win after me, dislocated my knee. So, as I said, it's payback time. I got a bit of luck this time, thank God, and I'm over the moon. I can't believe it.
And you started unbelievably well. It probably wasn't the 3 rounds that everyone was expecting, but like you were just so comfortable that first round again. He tried to come at you. Is that where you're most happy, when guys are coming at you like that?
Yeah, look, I knew from the start he was going to come. Billy and Zara and Eddie told me, meet him, he said. Give him everything he said in the first round. He said, see where it goes, he said, because he is going to be strong, he is going to come on. So I said to myself, in there, I'm going to give it everything. And thank God it paid off. Look, it's unbelievable feeling. I don't know, I can't feel it at the moment. It's unbelievable.
Yes, and that means that history was made on the double in Almaty this afternoon by the Irish boxers, because with Joe joining Jason in the semi-final stages, it means it's the first time in our history that we have 2 boxers through to the medal stages of a World Championship. But I suppose even more importantly, Joe Ward becomes the first boxer in boxing history to have won a medal at World Junior level, at World Youth level, and now he has medalled at World Senior level in 3 different weight divisions. And I suppose that's something to be very proud of, Eric, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's an incredible statistic. I didn't realise that until you mentioned it there. But I'm absolutely delighted for him, Peter, because Joe has had his own bit of misfortune, in terms of boxing over the last number of years. He was tipped to qualify for the Olympic Games. It didn't go his way. It was a controversial decision in Baku in 2011. This year, back in June, he was cruising to a win over the Polish boxer en route to a gold medal in the European Championships. He dislocated his knee, so he's had bad luck, and you could have forgiven him for dropping the head. But what he actually done was he trained hard. He never gave up. He done rehabilitation on the knee, and he's back here, and he's after breaking records again. I'm delighted for him.
Yeah, it's an absolutely wonderful achievement, Mick, and you do need a bit of good fortune along the way, and I suppose Joe to a point had it today, because that was shaping up to be a very, very good contest indeed, wasn't it?
Yeah, he needed a bit of luck, or he got a bit of luck, but it's lucky, well deserved, but I think he was starting to land the big punches at Peter. Yeah. He was getting in that left hand. There was a crunching punch, and you see this left hand of his. Here he's signalling to the referee that that there's an injury to his opponent. Here it is. As the big left hand comes in, but that's not the one. That's not. We think there was a slight clash of heads. It's very, very difficult to see it, but Joe wasn't too worried. It was going his way for once, that he had the luck on his side. But up to that, he had landed some crunching left-handers. And I've had the opportunity to watch Joe close up a few times at the National Stadium against Kenneth Egan. And some of the punches he puts in, I was doing commentary, of course, so I'd be right under the ring, and they're huge, crunching punches. He's a very, very strong hitter. He's going to have to bring all the power and strength and skill and everything he can to his semi-final, because he's got a very, very good opponent there, really good Cuban. Watched him today, a very slick mover.
Yeah. And
so he's going to have to bring, again, for him, he's going to have to bring his A game into the ring in the semi-final.
He certainly is. Should we worry about Joe's level of experience at this stage, Eric? Because he's only I think he's 20 years of age next Wednesday, so he's relatively young for a big World Championship semi-final.
Absolutely, and he's after achieving so much already, Peter, from such a young age. Like, he's only 19. Like, when I was 19, you would knock me over with a shoulder. Look at it, like the size of him and the strength of him.
Yeah.
He's double world champion, and now he's world senior bronze medalist. But the thing is, he's after beating men at their prime in this, all over the world. Russians, Kazakhstans, Uzbekistans, Azerbaijans. So he shouldn't have anything to fear from this Cuban. And again, today's fight, with it only going 1 or 2 minutes into the first round,
yes,
this will be a major factor in him saving and preserving some energy for the semi-final. So Lady Luck swung Joe's way today, and he deserved it.
Joe is a very cocky and confident fighter, and cocky in a good way, and it's a good way to be. And if you want to be top class, you have to be that. You have to be cocky and you have to be confident. And I remember talking to him before he got into the ring with Kenneth Egan, and I was asking how was he going to do, and he said, Mick, I'm going to stop him, And I said, well, you're going to stop Kenneth Egan? This was the first time. That's how he felt, that he was going to stop Kenneth Egan. It didn't make any difference how good Ken was and the record that he had and so on. He's cocky, he's confident, and he has the power to stop anybody.
Okay, Mick, well, let's hope he brings that to the contest on Friday, and of course you will see that one here with us on RTE as well. Okay, from light heavyweight to the heavyweight division, and earlier today Tommy McCarthy faced his stiffest test, I should say, so far against the boxer ranked number 2 at the championship. We'll see his contest right after this short break.
With RTE Player, you discover more. You'll never miss the headlines or the highlights. Immerse yourself in a world of great Irish TV, where all your favourite programmes are available in one place, brought to you seamlessly. Unmissable when it suits you. Available on all major mobile, games consoles and connected devices. RTE Player. Discover more.
Now for whatever life throws at them, there's new Persol Small and Mighty. An amazing new detergent that can also be used as a pre-treater. New Persol Small and Mighty. Better stain removal guaranteed or your money back.
You've done it all. You've broken every code. And pulled the rebel to the
At Mace, we know there are all kinds of reasons to smile.
Come up and see me, make me smile.
But one is more important than all the rest.
Because we're glad to see you.
Mace, going the extra smile.
For monster fun, come to the Banks of the Foyle Halloween Carnival in Derry, Londonderry. Book your family break at discovernorthernireland.com.
What's going to happen?
I gave you my word. I would return for you.
The very fabric of reality will be torn apart.
If we do nothing, they will destroy us. I'll find a way to save us all.
The Dark World.
To face an enemy, known only to a few. Known only to one.
When do we start?
Book your tickets now.
Are you ready for more? Then get ready for the best value bundle from Aircom ever. Get home phone, super fast broadband including eFibre, and for the first time, free eMobile for 6 months with a free smartphone. All yours for just €45 a month. The best value Aircom bundle with free eMobile and a free smartphone. Call 1-800 503 303 to sign up for your bundle today.
Welcome back to our coverage of the 2013 World Amateur Boxing Championships. Tommy McCarthy was the 5th member of the Irish team to secure a quarter-final place with victory over Germany's Emir Amatovic in the last 16. Well, McCarthy was a World Junior bronze medalist in 2008. Today he faced a tough opponent in the form of Argentina's Yamil Peralta. We join it early in round 1.
The punches are getting a little heavier now because we moved up 2 divisions. Moved up from middleweight through light heavy up to heavy. McCarthy himself has campaigned as a middle and a light heavy. But I think he's more comfortable at this weight. He can afford to, well, eat a bit better perhaps and let it all spread around the bones. And there's a lot of big bones, big shoulders on that shot. You see there the shoulder width of McCarthy. He's a powerful young man. And although he's in it as a boxer and has made his style as a boxer, he does carry a big punch. He carries a right hand that can put him to sleep if he gets a chance to throw it. He did then, but Peralta was just going off balance when he landed it. Lithuanian referee in charge of this one. And now that the head guards are gone, hopefully a thing of the past, maybe we'll have back the national colours soon. I know it's said that it's easier for just make it red and blue for the judges, but it's not exactly a fantastic work of art to know the difference in the country colours, unless they're very close. That's a good straight left there from Peralta. And there was nothing to stop it getting through to the face of McCarthy. I want to see McCarthy throw that big right hand of his. So far he hasn't been allowed an opening. So he got a prize for an opening with his left jab. Tommy McCarthy looking for an opening. With his right hand, he's found it. Got that through, partly taken on the elbow by Peralta. Last few seconds of the first round. Interesting to see how they'll score this one. Good end to the round by McCarthy. Make up your own mind. Peralta leading 2-1. Hoping that McCarthy can take the next stage. He's certainly well in the hunt here against what's bound to be rank 2 Peralta of Argentina. And Big Tommy can hand it out to Wild with the right hand, which left his entire body and face open. And lucky enough to get away with that, McCarthy. Won't want to be leaving too many open sheets like that for the Argentine to draw upon. McCarthy's though held his composure well. He's got a nice style about him. Nicely settled down. The movement of weight, the increase in weight from some boxers has given opportunity. Conchine going up to super heavy meant McCarthy could nick in here at heavyweight. McCarthy or Paddy Barnes and Michael Conlon each going up weight left the other man to replace him in the previous weight. And there's one good thing about the weights. Only 9 weights, of course, now, or 10 weights now in amateur boxing. It used to be 12. Then they lost light middle, and now we've lost featherweight. So it's down to 10. Some reasons for it. The latest one is that it allowed room for women's boxing to get in the Olympics. Women's and men's come under the same heading, boxing. And if you're going to have 3 women's divisions, you can't very well have 12 or 13 men's divisions. So the men's is now down to 10 and the women's is 3. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was reduced by another 1 on the male side. McCarthy is getting a bit of target practice for his right hand, but he's still reluctant to throw it. Thrown aside there, that's may not do that. Thrown aside there by Peralta. Last 3/4 of a minute in the second round. And the Irish champion of the last 2 years, Tommy McCarthy, giving as good as he's getting from the Argentine. She's some very fine fighters over the years, Argentina. Perhaps the greatest of them all being Carlos Monzon, the middleweight king. Although he went out of life and out of the game a bit ingloriously. People in Argentina will be looking forward, of course, to the World Cup come this summer, where they will bound to have a good side. They generally have. And among those that make it a good side is Lionel Messi. Well, Tommy McCarthy is level on 1 card and behind in 2. So there's 1 round to go, 1 round to decide it all. Just take a little bit of that excess water off the face of Peralta. That's all tidied up by towel. And there's 3 minutes for Tommy McCarthy to get further than he's ever got before in a major championship. And his route to that may be through that right hand of his, which is still relatively quiet and inactive. Right hand, left hand, right hand again. Then he's wrestled off it. Referee really should have a word with the Argentine there. Oh my God, Billy Walsh was quick there to wash the gum shield and and get it ready. Right hand was inches away from clattering Peralta around the ear. 2 minutes left in the round and in the contest. It was a bit low, and the lads, his own teammates, are shouting at him, "Be careful, Tommy, be careful." I think Tommy will know that with the grimaces there from the Argentine as he bent over. One big punch could settle this, you know, either way. The Argentine with a right hand. Looks the stronger puncher there coming out of a clinch. His left lead is good too. McCarthy trying to get his hands up as a guard. Lead with the left, jab with the left, cross with the right. That's what's needed. That's what he tries. That's what doesn't happen. And the referee steps between them. Keep the head up, he's telling Peralta. We're inside the last minute now. The Argentine has done enough to win it, unless he gets ultra careless in the last 40 seconds. McCarthy doing his best to keep the bigger man off, and there's not too many men who are bigger than McCarthy around this weight division, but Peralta certainly is. And there's only 20 seconds for Tommy McCarthy to gather this out of the gathering dusk in Almaty. Last 10 seconds. One big punch, if he has it in him, could do it. It won't be like that. And this very comfortable Argentine, who committed this as the number 2 seed, it goes over to the Irish corner to receive their congratulations, to thank them for the cooperation and thank the referee as well. Hand in hand, and Peralta has won it. Peralta by 2-1, only majority decision, but it's as good as a mile.
Did you give him too much respect? Or, I mean, it was such a close battle, like.
No, he may not look it, but he punched hard as nails, so he caught me a couple of good ones, but just devastated.
Look, overall, I mean, you did so well today. He's the number 2 seed. I mean, you're proud of your performance?
I'm just got it, you know. It was better than that fella, but it's just all in the day, isn't it?
Yes, not surprising that Tommy was disappointed after that, but Mick, we must keep in mind that was his first World Senior Championships, so he's had a good run through the draw, hasn't he?
Yeah, Tommy was very disappointed there, all right, and he showed it, but he's had a good championship, 3 fights, 3 wins, I should say, and then losing out there. Tommy's not the quickest heavyweight in these championships, and he happened to meet the Argentinian number 2 seed, who has very, very quick hands. They used to say about Tommy that he was quite easygoing and won't say lazy in the gym, but you know, it was hard to get him working in the gym. But he certainly knuckled down for these championships, and he's had a really good one, so he can be very proud of his own performance.
Yeah, certainly the experience out there, Eric, won't do him any harm at all, will it?
No way. He's won 3 fights in a World Championships and lost to the world number 2. Well, number 2 seeded, so
yeah.
He's already knocked out the number 10 seed, the number 7 seed, so it's an incredible journey for him in this World Championships. I've nothing but praise for him, and the development that I'm after seeing in him is incredible. So I know he's not the fastest heavyweight, but what he needs to work on now is his timing, because you know, if you get your timing right, if you haven't got the speed, then you have something to counteract that. But I've nothing but praise for Tommy. I'm delighted for him.
Yeah, he certainly has had a good championship, and a reminder that 2 Irish boxers have made it through to the semi-final stages of the World Amateur Boxing Championships, and those bouts take place on Friday, and they'll be streamed live on rte.ie in the early part of the day, and we'll have both contests in full here on RTE2 television at 8 o'clock on Friday evening. But I'm afraid that's just about all we have time for this evening. My thanks to Eric and Mick for being with us in studio. I hope you can join us again on Friday to see if Joe Ward and Jason Quigley can reach a World Championship final. Both are tantalisingly close. From all of us here, bye-bye for now.
Pro-12 returns with another interprovincial derby. Can Connacht end a 4-game Pro-12 losing streak when they take on Leinster at the RDS?
It's over! It's a try from Dan Price!
Or will the defending champions get their 3rd win of the season?
Dave Carney, wonderful try from Leinster.
The Rabo Direct Pro-12. Leinster versus Connacht. Saturday at 6:30 on RTE2.
Every day, nearly 800 pregnant women die in the developing world. That's why I volunteered with VSO. Now, I share my medical knowledge and experience with doctors in Africa, so that together
we can prevent needless deaths.
What do you think?
Oh,
it's new. I got it today.
Wow.
Look,
it's got a life of its own.
moves.
But look what I got today. It's new teasers.
What is it?
It's little pieces of Maltesers in smooth milk chocolate.
Oh, I want one. I'm so jealous. Who's that?
That's Tom. He's new too.
Try new teasers. Little pieces of Maltesers immersed in smooth milk chocolate.
Together, we can stop fire in the home. S. Smoke alarm. Make sure you have at least one working smoke alarm on every floor. T. Test your smoke alarm weekly, or ask someone to check it for you. O. Obvious dangers. Stub out cigarettes and never leave cooking appliances unattended. P. Plan your escape. Keep access routes clear. Close all doors at night.
Belfast.